Just on the infrastructure package, just having had these lengthy meetings yesterday, does the president think the House should vote on the infrastructure bill in the beginning of next week, or does he think that there might be a benefit to waiting and delaying that?
The president's going to work closely with leadership to determine what the next best steps are.
He also may need Republican votes. Does he intend to bring House Republicans over to talk about infrastructure in the next few days?
We're really deciding day by day on what can be most helpful and constructive to moving his agenda forward, which includes each of these pieces of legislation. So right now I don't have anything on the books, but we're again deciding day by day. Go ahead.
We're about a week away from the end of the fiscal year, and we understand that today's the day that the administration is going to suggest, well, instruct agencies to develop contingency plans for a funding lapse. I want to ask specifically about agencies within HHS, the CDC and the FDA. Years ago, in 2013, when there was a government shutdown, Tom Frieden, who then led the CDC, described that period of time as one of the worst in his tenure at the agency. 8,000 CDC staffers, he said, were furloughed. Do you expect a similar dynamic to play out if there's a shutdown this year in this pandemic, or will there be different instructions to those critical agencies now?
Well, we are taking every step we can to mitigate the impacts of a potential shutdown on our pandemic response, economic recovery, or other priorities. The fact is, shutdowns are incredibly costly, disruptive, and damaging. Direct public health efforts can generally proceed during a shutdown because they're exempt, and that is certainly our intention. And large swaths of the federal government coming to a screeching halt would certainly not be beneficial to pandemic response. But we are doing everything we can to mitigate. I'd also say on the first part of your question, it's consistent with long-standing practice across many administrations for OMB to simply remind agency senior staff of the need to review and update orderly shutdown plans. This is not formal guidance being given. It's just a reminder we're 7 days out and we need to be prepared, of course, in any event of any contingency. So we see this as a routine step and one just to be prepared in any event of what could happen.
It's theoretical, but would the administration be in support of, let's just say, a cutout, a CR just for Health and Human Services or other departments that are critical to the pandemic response?
I don't think I'm going to speak to that, Steve. Our objective here, there is a CR that passed. There's a debt limit that passed. Raising the debt limit that passed the House, the Senate can ask to raise both of them and to ensure there's funding for a range of government programs. Go ahead, and then I'll go. And then